Hello, everyone. Deborah Roth here with Spirited Living, and back with another installation, if you will, of our exploration into our individual and really global inner goddess team, where I highlight a goddess from somewhere around the world that has either seems to have called out to me or seems to be seasonally appropriate. And the second one is where this particular goddess this week fits in. Selu is one of her many names, and she's probably the most evocative, the most well-known, really, of all of the Native American goddesses. She was considered a mother goddess, excuse me, and is honored in across with different mythology attached to her in Hopi and Pueblo and Huron and even in Aztec cultures. So she's not just North American, but also South American in terms of her connections. She, as the beloved corn goddess, corn mother, corn maiden, she really goes by many names. And Sela actually means corn or maize in Cherokee. And she is, so with that connection, she is known, she's associated with sustenance, with as corn is, with sacrifice, with loving sacrifice, and you'll hear that in a minute, and with renewal and rebirth, with the weather, with the harvest, which is why she comes up in this couple days before Thanksgiving right now. And I'll share with you a couple of her myths, which at first glance I was like, boy, this sounds very, very misogynist. Why do the women and Sela and other representations of her end up getting killed off? But when you read more about it, which I wish I had time to read more, I'm in that pre-Thanksgiving flurry, you really see the kind of sacrifice that she represents. So I've got one image of her from one of my favorite, the Goddess Oracle. Amy Marinshinsky does these beautiful images. And you can see she's got corn stalks around her. She's holding corn seeds and corn meal. It really is a beautiful picture of her. And you can find lots of different renditions online as well. So I invite you to really, as I always do here, to think about how those themes show up in your own life. And as I always invite people, if you have more knowledge of her mythology, of her stories, of her spirit, I always am open, always love to hear that. So her main message is that, and one of the really one of the biggest messages is that she planted her own heart. She actually in the Hopi tradition, was it Hopi? No, in one of the traditions, she had so much power that her twin sons were threatened by her and were talking about killing her. And she said to them, basically, yes, please do. I'm not afraid of death, because she knew that she would return. And so they took her instructions and they planted her. And from her very heart, the next spring, and from all the seeds that her body created, corn sprouts. And so she's really, the message for her is she was not afraid of death because she knew that she would be reborn in the form of corn to sustain her people. One of the stories, and this is the one from, let's see, from the Hopi tradition. This is one of the first ones that I read, and I thought, oh boy. She was called Cochamana in that tribe. And the story is that the men of a particular tribe went out to hunt because they had very little food left. And they, excuse me, they were only supposed to be gone 3 days. They ended up getting caught in a snowstorm and were gone 20 sunsets, as they said. When they returned, the children of the village ran out to greet them, but then they found that all the women had died because they had given their own food to the children so that the children would continue to live. And of course, all the men were heartbroken. and the shaman was visited by the creator, and the creator said to her, instruct everyone to bury these women who had died in a shallow grave, all in a line, and then the whole village was placed in a deep sleep, and then a beautiful young man that was very funny, and if they were all in a sleep, I don't know how they actually saw him, but he came to the village. He was tall and handsome and entertaining and comical, played a flute, and he went to the grave and started to play his flute. And he bent over the grave as he played, and tears fell from his eyes, and they became the seeds of corn as he played and cried. And over that same 20 sunsets that the men had ended up being away, the creator said to him, Kokopelli, and I have heard of Kokopelli. I actually have, I think, some earrings or something of that figure, and I'm sure you've seen it too, playing a flute, a figure, kind of a graphic of a picture playing a flute that represents Kokopelli. You'll be remained, and what the creator said to Kokopelli, you shall remain forever hunched over as a tribute to the maidens who will become known collectively as the corn women. Your tears of sympathy have become the seeds of life-giving corn. And so the idea is that Hopi and all of the various tribes who embrace her know that they will never be hungry again. And even in some of the traditions, the one where her sons kill her, she again asks for death, knowing that she can't die. She's considered to be the first cornstalk. She was considered to be the first woman, and who was meant to. I didn't find exactly what he did, but her husband was Kana'ti, the first man, and she originated from the first cornstalk for the purpose of righting the serious wrongs of this first man. And she taught her sons, before they killed her, how to plant and farm corn. And even in death, she knew that she would be resurrected with each harvest. So there's just such, as there always is with these, I just love the metaphors and the symbolism. She is certainly someone that you can call on when you need support in growing or progressing in some area of your life. When there's an area that you need to let go of, to literally let die in order for new seeds to sprout. Welcome her by offering her corn, or have a little bit of corn for dinner tonight. One of the things that I found that I loved, seemed very in the moment, Patricia Telesco, who I've talked about often here, I love her book, 365 Goddesses, suggests this, that if the area that you live in needs rain, and right now it's raining in New York City where I am, try drumming for it while scattering corn kernels mixed with pine needles on the ground. And the corn and the needles will act as sort of will act as a gift to the goddess. And the sound that they make is apparently, so the myth goes, is kind of a sympathetic magic to draw the rain and to replenish the seeds and bring new life. So I loved that, all of those variations on this. There's probably more that I'm not relaying to you, but I think you've got the gist of it. So in this Thanksgiving week, hello Bob, hello Pam. In this Thanksgiving week, I just invite you to take on some of this spirit and to think in gratitude. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say, and this I thought was really something, that the shaman in the story where their men were told to bury all of the women, they were told that they must dance the dance of thanksgiving for the bounty that they have returned with. And the men said, no, how can we do that when all of our women have died? And the shaman said, trust me, go dance your dance of thanksgiving and see the bounty that will be returned to you. So with that, I'm going to close by teaching, and I've sung this in certainly other Thanksgiving related times. And actually, before I do that, check out, and the link will be in my YouTube description, which will go up probably by tomorrow night. But check out the video that I did, the Inner Goddess Team video that I did about Gaia in 2020, so 3 years ago, because in that one, I really talk about how we really, and how thank goddess that we're now aware that the myths that we were fed when we were kids about happy pilgrims and Indians, I use that deliberately, was a crock. But I talk about Gaia and harvest, but also with some suggestions for how to reclaim this holiday. Certainly always is about gratitude and giving thanks, but also in a way that connects us to the earth. Likewise, my Wellness Universe blog about Thanksgiving will be up tomorrow, and I'll have the link to that. And that actually gives you some really kind of fun ideas of how to incorporate some more enlightened approaches to your Thanksgiving celebration with family and friends. So, okay, didn't want to forget that. Here's the chant that I love, that if any of you have been in circle with me who are watching this, know that it's one of my favorites and a perfect one for Thanksgiving and giving gratitude. It goes, thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter, or you can say from your sons and daughters. Thank you, Father Sky, Brother Sky. Thank you, air in motion. Thank you, everyone. Earth, fire, air, and ocean. I'll sing it one more time without the little additions. Thank you. It's a really fun one to do with noisemakers, little rock and roll. It's a little goddess rock and roll. Okay. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter. Thank you, Brother Sky. Thank you, air in motion. Thank you, everyone. Earth, fire, air, and ocean. So, happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day to you. And just have a blessed time with friends and family, or just in the company of yourself, if that's what resonates with you. Namaste. See you again here next week.